have always wanted to do one of these videos. It's everything that I made in 2024. I'm very excited because I often watch these type of videos and I love seeing what everyone makes in a year. It usually makes me feel pretty unproductive because there are some amazing people out there, but I have to remind myself that I am a full-time teacher and this is a little side hobby. So today I'm going to show you 2.5 quilts, 3 tops, 1 skirt, 3 bags and a couple of other little projects that I've been working on this year. The first one, I've just pulled these off my kids' beds. In January I finished this quilt for my daughter. It was started, I think, during a COVID lockdown. I made the pattern myself. It's just a quarter circle patch, and there is my hand-dyed fabrics and then other random fabrics. I didn't buy any new fabrics for this quilt. It was just everything that I had lying around my house, but I've gone the very lighter tones, pastels, and yeah, I think it looks great. With the quilting, I've just quilted the square lines. So I finished, I had the quilt top and then in January I finished it. The back I just buy a sheet from the op shop. This one was beautiful, soft white sheet with a stripe on it and a white binding. So that was that quilt. And it's on my daughter's bed. Then after doing that, I'll just throw that on the floor. Got the quilting bug again because I hadn't been quilting for a few years, and so then I decided I'd make a quilt for my son's bed, and I've done him black and white quilt, and it's flying geese. I love this quilt block pattern. So I've done it in black and white because that's the colours of his favourite football team in Australia, AFL football team, and it is just the 4 flying geese. I've kept the same 4 together in blocks like that, and these fabrics I did purposely buy for this quilt. I got them from Spotlight, and again I used a white sheet from the op shop. It's so soft, this one actually. It's a bit of a tencel fabric and a black binding. With the quilting, again I just used straight line stitching on my domestic machine, and I have just gone stitched in the ditch for each of the little rectangles, I think. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, every second. So they're squares. The quilting is squares. I've quilted 2 together. So that was that one. He loves this. I also made 2 European sized pillow slips, quilted the same flying geese pattern to go on his bed. He has loved them so much that they're pretty much destroyed, so that's why you're just seeing some lovely shots of when they were brand new. But yeah, they were a really great project, and that's when I started YouTubing, when I was making this quilt. Yeah, and then I fell in love with YouTubing and having a community and having conversation with all these quilters from around the world. So I'll pop the playlist for that quilt as I was making that one down below. Oh, well, we'll stay on quilts, or maybe I'll talk about this one first. So this was again another, I'll just pull it forward, it's got a candle on it. This was another unfinished project that was in my cupboard. These hexagons, which I'd hand stitched together. It's a bit dirty because it's been on our dining table, and I originally thought years ago that I was going to make a whole quilt, but after doing this much I'd had enough. So it is perfect table runner size, and for this one I did my quilting a 1/4 inch around the inside of each hexagon, and there's a video about that one as well, linked below. Beautiful colours on that. It's got hand-dyed fabric and some other brights that I had laying around. Then well, I've started and finished another quilt top this year. And this was my Scrappy quilt. So I started a Scrappy quilt alongside my mother, who also made a Scrappy quilt. So we made hundreds and hundreds of these quilt blocks that were just all of our scraps. It's got a tiny bit of one colour in the centre, and then you join the same colour around each side, so it looks like a little square, a square in square Scrappy block. I made hundreds of those, and then decided to pair it with a navy square, and they're all on the point, so on the diagonal, and it is a huge queen size. Like I say huge queen size because it's for my queen bed, but it is larger than the queen size. I want it to come off the edges of my bed, which it does, hang down halfway. So the first thing I'll be doing in 2025 is sandwiching this and then quilting it. So I'm very excited. There is a playlist for this quilt as well, and that's linked below, and you can watch how I made that quilt. But I find this quilt like so stunning. I think it's one of my favorites I've ever made. I think the navy really makes all the colors pop, and I love how the colors go from the warm tones to neutrals and then the cool tones at the bottom. So yep, love that one. I'll just chuck that there. I'll refold it after I finish talking to you guys. So I also made some clothes and some bags. First off, this top that I'm wearing right now, I drafted the pattern for this. I just watched how to do that on YouTube. Love YouTube as a learning tool. It's got little black piping along the edges of the sleeves and the collar, and a little, I'll just turn around, little keyhole and a tie. That's how I get into it. There's no sleeves on this pattern. It's just, basically it's two pieces of fabric. It is perfect to wear to work with like dress pants. Really nice. I want to take that pattern and make a few more actually, because yeah, it's a really handy piece in my wardrobe, and I love the dark purple colour. Two other tops I did upcycled, where my husband's t-shirts, a couple of his t-shirts had sort of shrunk and were riding up, and he didn't want them anymore. He was going to chuck them away, and so I took his shirt, and he's a large male t-shirt, and I sewed down the sides. I made a new hem that was shorter. In some instances changed the neckline. So this one I put in a new neckline, and I used what I cut off to make the binding, and then I have the proper neckline on there and new little sleeves. So really happy with the quality, and they're just some handy little t-shirts for around the house, really, because they're still sort of that old fabric. And actually when it's actually got a hole under the sleeve, I didn't realize until bringing it out here to show you. So that one I just wear when I'm like exercising, to be honest. Really cute. And then this one, my mother had bought this for my husband in Spain, and all this decorative work was on the t-shirt. So it was a male t-shirt with like all this wonderful embellishment, and yeah, he loved this shirt, but it just shrunk a bit. With this one I was able to keep the neckline exactly the same, so I didn't have to change that, but I did crop the sleeves entirely off, so they are it's a singlet now, but I put in this new binding on the armholes and made it shorter. So two little cute upcycled pieces I made this year. Okay, what should I show next? I guess the skirt. So I have been talking about making this red tartan skirt for months and months and months. I only finished it basically Christmas Eve, except for the belt. So it is, I'll take the belt out, maybe. The belt is unfinished. I need to find a buckle. I was just going to buy one in an op shop, but I haven't found one yet. So if not, I'll have to go on eBay and just buy a 2-inch belt buckle. But I've got the grommets, eye holes, eyelets to fix that in. so it'll have a matching belt eventually, but it's just a cute little mini skirt with a waistband, belt loops. It's got an invisible zip down the back and hook and eye closures, and it's a nice mid above the knee length. So really Christmassy, really on trend. The tartan at the moment, they're all over my Pinterest board and I really wanted my own. So I made my own. I've also got another tartan fabric in like a Stuart Hunting, which is navy and green. So I think I'll make another one and perhaps make it longer pencil skirt. Okay, and then 4 more things to go, 3 bags and another little project. So this is probably one of the most complicated things I've ever made, and one that I'm most proud of is this bag. So I was inspired by, I'm not going to remember the name of the brand. There's one of the high-end brands of bags have this beautiful like carpet fabric. Oh, that's going to annoy me. I'll put it down here, I'll work it out and it'll be written here. So that's what I was inspired by, and I have put ribbon across their centre. It's got this pocket on the side, this lovely antique button that was in Mum's button drawer. Zips up and it's all lined, it's sturdy, it stands up. I didn't make this part here, I managed to find something that matches to go. But yeah, this was a really cool pattern. I want to make another bag with this pattern. So yeah, really happy with that bag. And then I made this bag, and I only finished this a few days ago as well. It is a flower. Isn't that cute? So this one has a zip across the top, and it's just it's lined with black fabric. And again, this is just a strap I've got off another handbag. So that's quite fun. And would it go with the tartan? Maybe, maybe not. Goes really well with the black outfit. The only problem is the phone doesn't fit in the back. So it's more for little things. Anyway, I thought that was adorable. This one is a bit of a cheat actually. I didn't make this in this year, 2024. I made it the year before, but I wanted to show it off. It's another fabric wallet. It's this blue, I hand dyed myself, and then it's got the facet cabbage leaf in bright fuchsia pink. But this was the first time I made something like this. It has a zip up compartment, other compartment here. It has a coin section where you can add stuff in with the yellow hand dyed fabric in the middle, and slots for all the cards, and then it all does up. So yeah, it's really cute. I actually just use it as a clutch if I go out sometimes, but you have to be careful because it's not waterproof. Like you can't put it on the table and have water go on it or anything. Sort of have to, when you sit down and you've got a nice chair, you can sit with it at your back. But yeah, I just thought that was cute and I wanted to show you, but that doesn't count for this year. And then the other thing I've made is this half square triangles, and this was to make a cover for my sewing machine. So in January, I'll be working on this quilt and this sewing machine cover. I have a really great idea for this. When I do the quilting, I'm going to try out all the different stitches on my sewing machine, or the decorative stitches, as the quilting lines, because it's only a little and it's a good opportunity to try out all the different lines. So that's what I'm planning to do on that, and that's going to be fun. Make sure you stick around to watch that video in the next few weeks when I get around to that. Yeah, so that's all I did. So I don't think that I'm productive, but really for someone working full time, this is not bad. I'm pretty happy with myself, and having the channel and having to make things to keep the channel going is really, I guess, inspiring, and urges me to continue making stuff, which is great, and you do push yourself. for example, by trying different stitches or putting together new blocks. So 2025, here we come. I have, after these two projects, I do have some great ideas for other quilts I want to make. I really want to make a tartan quilt because I love tartan at the moment. So I'm thinking a tartan quilt will be the next one. So I'm Rachel and Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the next video. I wish you the best 2025. Here we come. Goodbye everyone. See ya.